Hello, you cool cats and kittens. It's Carol at Big Cat Rescue, and this is just my excuse for some reason to say hello and Happy New Year to all of you cool cats and kittens out there. In the background, you can see Gilligan, Canada Lynx on the prowl. He's over here talking to Frankie. I don't see Frankie. Where do you see? Oh, I do see Frankie. Hi, sugar. I hardly ever see Frankie. I would love to see you. Will you let us come see you? Yeah? Are you taunting Gilligan? Did you find a perfect place to hide in those ferns? It's just perfect. It's just perfect, huh? There's the good boy. Hi. Oh, sorry. I do not have anything for you. Will you pee on me? That would be terrible. Noir, I just opened your Christmas card. Thank you very much. Were you here, or did it come in another box? Because it didn't look like it had gone through the mail. And he's off. Where are you off to? Did Gilligan go where you can't see him now? Yeah, he did. Decided to go to the other side of his enclosure. You know, I don't check on Loki that often. Let's see if we can find him. Hey, Babs. You're a keeper. Where would I find Loki? Well, I see him. I don't think you're going to be able to see him, though, because he's in that den. And I'd have to look through a gazillion layers of wire to get a straight enough shot. But you can see Loki tail. It's just a tail. What is it? Is it Frankie's birthday, too? I just sent a text to Randall and he responded just now, but I couldn't read the whole thing because I was busy scrolling here. Looked like the kitten cabana was not streaming to our gift shop, and I noticed this morning when I tried to live stream from there, I wasn't able to. So I don't know. Yeah, you're gonna think twice about coming over here. I don't know if you guys can see the kitten cabana at all. Gilligan? What? Flavoring around the rosy here. I'd love for people to see you without cage wire. That's why I was trying to stick the camera in. The little fluffy pajamas is gone. He looks like he's wearing little footed jammies. Turned out to be easier than I thought it'd be. Yeah, I got the gate shut easier than I thought. Bye-bye. See a wreck that Pharaoh made with his enrichment, but he's not with it. So we'll go a little further, see who we can find. Kate says the cabana is not streaming today. I went in there and I checked all of the plugs and made sure everything was plugged in and blinking, and it all looked good. I swear. It is just a constant IT nightmare to keep stuff up and running. So thankful that we have Randall and Michael Heap is here. The Snow Leopard Trust iPad was broken today. It's like, oh, for goodness sake, every time I come in here, that thing's shut off. it just doesn't seem like it should be that hard to get something to stream a signal without crashing all the time. Hey Nala, can we come see you? I know. Let me come over here where I'm further away so you're not so mad. Is this better? Just make you not so mad? Let me hear you growling. Go. Can you put your ears back up and tell everybody Happy New Year? There we are. Ears up. Well, somebody says they see 3 cute kittens in the cabana right now. What were you watching it on? Were you on the YouTube channel or were you on the Explorer channel? I know there's so many birthdays. Riza and Amanda, somebody else. Allison, this is a serval, African serval. They're native to Africa, obviously. And as you can see, they have very long legs and very big ears. They hang out in areas near waterways, ponds, lakes, streams, riverbeds. They love to hunt for fish and frogs and all kinds of stuff that are around the water and in the water. Oh, somebody says it's Nala's birthday too. Wow. So the reason kittens are in the cabana, trueexplorer.org. Thank you. The reason so many of our cats have a birthday of January 1st is because in the industry, zoo industry, sanctuary industry, the consensus is if you don't know how old an animal is, you have your vet do the best guess that they can based on the teeth and the condition of the cat, and then assign a birthday for that year that you're guessing to 1/1. So if you don't know the year, their birthday will always be on January 1st. If you end up with a cat in your possession that's, say, 8 months old, so you know it's not a year old yet, and you can pretty much backtrack, okay, well, it must have been in this year 8 months ago, what you would do is go back. So in this case, you would go back into 2018 and pick whatever was 8 months back. I can't do that in my head. And pick the first day of that month. So you'll notice a lot of our cats have birthdays that are on the first of whatever month because we don't know exactly how old they are. Because when we get them, it's usually from situations where they've been rescued or confiscated. And of course, the people who own them are not giving up the paperwork on them, so we have to make our best guesses. She is pretty, but now she's sleeping. So I'm going to see if we can find somebody else to watch. Maybe Zimba, if you're still in the mood for Servals. I'm not going to mess with you. Hey, Nancy Allen. There are so many tours out there. In fact, all of our tours were completely booked up, and we had brought in every volunteer that we could to cover them all. And then enough other people decided they wanted to come that Michael Heap and Pamela decided to put together another tour by staying and going out again. Do you hear that? Woo! It's Gilligan calling in the background. I don't see Zimba. Tell me where you are. Here's something I don't see very often. Dryden coming right over. Did you mistake me for somebody with food? Yeah, I kind of thought that was the case. He's like, you're not anybody important. I'm gonna go back to my den. And I'm sure he's going to let Kelowna know, there she is, that it's not safe to go out. There's a person. Oh my gosh, there's a person. Don't go out there. Deb, thank you for posting that link to Dryden's page. And I know this cage right here in front of me is empty. It's Zukari's cage. He is on funcation, even though he's got a huge enclosure. He's out there in the 22,000 square foot funcation. And I understand he's been having a blast. Kathy, I love that sound Gilligan makes. There's Ginger. Hi, Ginger. I usually try to come out when the people are handing out evening meds and snacks so that you guys will actually see some cats. Because if I don't have snacks, they don't want to come see. Yeah, you don't care to see me if I don't have something good for you. But the problem is that by the time I stay late enough to do that, then I can't get home in time. I ride my bike back and forth to work, and it takes anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes to get home, depending on the route that I take. So I have to take different routes all the time because of the people who would like to see me dead. So I have to change up my schedule all the time and choose between driving a car and taking different routes on my bike. But for me to get home before it gets dark, I gotta leave like at least 45 minutes before sunset, and that's been making it really hard for me to get out here and do these lives. So I decided to come out and see if I could at least see some cats before I left. There's Sheena walking away over there. Freak this tour out, walking by them or rolling by them under the camera. There's Riza. Riza, I hear it's your birthday. Oh, birthday girl. Hello.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Are you noticing a lot of the cats have birthdays today? Lots of them.
Hello.
Hello. There's Zukari. Hi. Look at you up there. Are you just having a ball? He's on that platform in there. The reason that they would like to silence me is because they see me as a threat to their practices of speed breeding cubs and then using them for photo ops and then discarding them into god-awful situations. And what blows my mind is they seem to think that if they could just get rid of me, that all of the legislation and all of the rules would just go away and that society would go back to thinking that what they did was okay. And that's just not the case. People have been awakened to how horrible that is, to take those cubs away from their moms and use them as pay-to-play props and then discarding them into canned hunts and backyards and basements and all of the other horrible things. So getting rid of me is not going to make their lives go back to where it was 10 years ago. But they seem to share that common misconception that it would. Well, Zukari, you're pretty boring there, just sleeping on your platform. This is Funcation. It's 22,000 square feet, and every 2 weeks a different cat gets to go in there and have all that space to themselves. I just posted an article at Big Cat Rescue. If you go to bigcatrescue.org, right there at the top of the main page, it'll list all of our most recent articles. And this article is sadly about the intern who lost her life in North Carolina at a roadside zoo called Conservation Center. And the lion was killed as a result as well. But the picture, the reason I'm saying this, is that the pictures that I used on that page were donated by a fellow by the name of Colin Speckner, and he came out for a photo tour recently, and he got some stunning images of Manny, Jaguar, who we're looking at right now, and Armani the leopard, and Hoover tiger, and there was another tiger picture. I'm not sure if it was Hoover or not, but you can see how hard it is to get a good picture because we don't let people on photo tours past the barricade here. So he'd have to be taking a picture just like I am, where there's all this wire in the way. But if the cat is far enough back behind the wire, apparently you can like focus your camera lens in on it and make the wire kind of disappear, and the images on that page are just stunning. I don't know how you do this because I'm not a photographer, but he turned like the whole background into really dark, and then all you see is like the cat just glowing, and the images on that page are just amazing. Lori, you're so funny. I did not know that that intern was from Indiana. I guess I should have known that because I think some of the articles said that. You know, when stuff like that happens, it makes me so sick to my stomach to think that how awful that is for the people involved, all of the people. I mean, not only the young woman, but also her family and her friends and the people that she worked with. And it makes me so thankful that our volunteers are as respectful of our rules as they are. We have a strict no contact policy here, and our keepers have to be trained working around little cats for 2 years before they're allowed to even come on the other side of this barricade here to clean the cages and feed the lions, tigers, leopards, and jaguars. And they're never allowed to touch the cats. But even with all of that, all of those safety measures in place, and if you go to zoocollege.com, you'll see we have 50 courses that people have to take before they get through their training here. And despite all of those efforts that we make to keep people safe, I know it just takes one time of a person being complacent and not paying attention to where they are. They could back up to a cage and get killed by one of these cats. They could lean up against a cage accidentally. They could trip and fall against a cage. And there's so many ways that it could be us, and it could be our cats, and it could be our people. And so it just makes me sick whenever I hear of anybody being injured by a big cat, and makes me that much more determined to pass the Big Cat Public Safety Act so that these guys aren't being bred for life in prison in the first place. Did you get it? Did you get that itchy spot? Yes, you're adorable. You can't help yourself. Yeah, I think the question was, when is the walkabout going to be? And it'll be the first Saturday in November. I don't know what day that is, but whatever day that is when the next walkabout will be. And now that we've switched over into 2019, we should be putting that on the calendar, if it's not already, for people to be able to buy their tickets, because last year all the tickets sold out by August, and a lot of people were really upset because it had never sold out that quickly before, and they didn't get to come. I know there's a lot of you who are working extra hard and setting aside money now to try and be able to be ready for that. Now Mr. Zuccari is up. Hey. You gonna lay your head back down and go back to sleep now that I'm coming over here? Was I only interesting as long as I had my back to you? Cats. The cat that I was just in front of was Sundari. And this is Zukari. Zukari is a serval. Todd, I'm afraid Mac has passed on. He passed on last year. If you go to bigcatrescue.org/Mac, M-A-C, you can see his story and his timeline there. Tracy's asking how much is it. I'm guessing you mean for the Wildcat Walkabout. I don't know yet. You know, when we first did the walkabout, the reason that we did it was because our prices here for tickets are like $39 when you consider the ticketing fee. Because it's like, I think, $37, and then the company that actually does the ticketing for us charges $2. And some people who love Big Cat Rescue just can't afford that. So we, I'm sorry, I'm struggling to shut a gate here. And got it. So we made it like $5, I think. And we decided we'll take all the money that we make from the walkabout and we'll donate it to conservation efforts in the wild. And back when we started doing it, we weren't able to donate much money to conservation in the wild. So it was a way of being able to earmark some money and say, okay, everything we raise, we're going to do that. And it sold out. And it's sold out every year since then. But I think the second year we decided, okay, well, we could probably double or triple the price and people would still pay that to come, and we could double or triple, I forget now how many years we've done it, but we could double or triple what we are able to send to the wild to protect cats where they actually belong. And now we've seen that even at full ticket price, people will still buy out all of the tickets, and that money can go to conservation. So we haven't decided on a ticket price, but I think last year we did $25, which is still cheaper than our regular ticket price. But this year, I don't think we're gonna discount it. I think we may go the full 37. We might be able to get the ticketing company to not charge us the ticketing fee. I know the last couple of years they didn't charge us the ticketing fee, I don't think. And that way we're able to save a lot more animals in the wild. You can see all of the projects that we have funded in the wild at bigcatrescue.org/insitu. That's INSITU. This is Chaos. Chaos is a caracal. She's a beautiful caracal. Get up high enough here you guys can see her cute belly. Thank you for posting the link to her bio and all of the cats' bios that you guys have been posting links to. I don't know if you heard Hutch back there. Maybe. Or Beecher. Tracy probably in the next few days will be putting that on the ticket page. The ticket page can always be found at bigcatrescue.org/tickets. The weird thing about trying to find it though is you have to actually scroll all the way forward to November when you get to the ticket calendar. You're just gonna keep your head turned the other way, and so you have to scroll all the way to November to find the date. I'm not even sure I don't think it's there yet. You could look, but I don't think so because I don't think we've decided on a price yet. Yes, most of the cats who arrive here come with a name, and we try to keep the name unless it's just something horrible. Years ago we had an animal come here, it was a lemur that was named Stupid, and that's just a horrible thing to call an animal, even though they may not know what you mean. It just It wasn't something we were going to do. And so we changed the name to Cupid, so it would still sound similar to the animal. Don't want to totally confuse them. Yep, Jenny, that's what they named that lemur. That was terrible. So we called him Cupid. You know, like Cupid's arrow, Cupid's bow, Cupid's the little love guy. This morning, Gabrielle was on the list. One of the other things that I mentioned in the page about addressing what Big Cat Rescue does to keep our volunteers and interns safe was talking about our observation reports. So every day the keepers go out, and first thing they do is they feed the cats, and then they go back and they clean the cats. And during both of those, they are keeping their eyes open for anything that might need some maintenance. So like you can see right here where this tree is pushing up on this cage, and it's not a problem yet, but it's something that if it were bowing the cage, it would end up on the report, so that we would come out here and do the work we needed to clip it out, give the tree some room to grow. Hi, sweetheart. And then they also report if a cat's acting like they don't feel well. And Gabrielle was on the report. Sometimes on the reports, there's nothing in particular that the cat's doing, they just are acting weird. We actually have one of the choices that you can pick from the drop-down list is acting weird, because sometimes cats don't give you a real good clue as to what's going on. So when she shows up on the acting weird list, the vet gets an email, the operations manager and Jamie and I all get emails so that we can go check on them. Don't know. She's eating okay. A couple days ago, she wanted to be fed off a stick. I think she's like 22 years old. So if you multiply that by 6, she'd be like 130 something, I think, if she were a person. Yeah, she's the pocket tiger. She's still bright-eyed and alert. She was reported for walking slowly. And it's like, well, I walk pretty slowly nowadays too. So sometimes it'll just be a change in the temperature, or it can be something that they ate. Like, I don't know what our schedule is, but the cats get dewormed once a month, and then quarterly they get another dewormer, and sometimes they don't like the dewormer, and so they'll act kind of pukey. But they got to get it, or they'd be a whole lot more pukey because they'd be all full of worms, which would be terrible. I see sleeping stripes over there, Keisha and Kali. Beautiful Kali. We rode by Risa, but the tour was coming up right then. Oh, goodness. Here's 3 cougars for the price of 1. Hey, kiddos. I know. Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm going to end it here. I still have a bunch of work I got to do before I hit the road. Rah? You saying rah? Rah? Hope you guys have a wonderful new year. I think 2019 is going to be very exciting. I'm really anticipating that our bill can pass this year, and that's going to be the biggest step toward ending the practice of ripping cubs from their moms and using them as photo props and then discarding them. It's going to be the best step forward that we can take to having no more cats pacing in cages like you are right now. So thank you everybody who has made the call of the wild. we have a new way of displaying that in the gift shop, and it's really cool because it cycles through all of the people who have made the Call of the Wild. Sometimes I just stand there and read all the names as they go through the cycle. It's really cool to see that. Love you guys. Thank you again. Be sure to go to bigcatact.com. Bye-bye.